Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today we've got a getting started with Path to Glory video for you, and today we're going to be taking a look at the cities of Sigmar again, and in particular the Hallowheart sub-faction. In this video we're going to go through talking about what exactly we get with a Hallowheart sub-faction, what it does on the tabletop, what it's supposed to do at least, and then we're going to go through the 5 main steps of creating your Path to Glory roster for you to get ready. This will be done in a Vanguard point size, so it'll be a 600 point roster, a really great way to get into the hobby and Warhammer Age of Sigmar in general. And then we'll go look at units we should maybe look to start off with, units we can look to add on later. Of course, you can swap them around as much as you wish. And then finally, we'll finish off the video with a little 600 point sample army list for you to have a look at and see where it can all begin, what you can sort of do, and really how you can use it to base your own or indeed copy our list if that's what you wish to do. And so, to start with, let's talk about what exactly we get from Hallowheart. Hallowheart is, of course, a Cities of Sigmar sub-faction. This means we get things like Honoured Retinue and our General's Adjutant, cool little rules that base around our General and give him some really cool abilities like a Bodyguard rule where he can pass off wounds to a unit around him, so long as he's got 6 wounds or less, and then General's Adjutant, so long as both of them are 6 wounds or less, can start generating some extra command points for us. But Hallowheart is the wizard-focused sub-faction of the Cities of Sigmar. There's a lot of bonuses for wizards inside this. First of all, you've got a significant ways to increase your casting ability up to a maximum of +6, which is really cool. And then you've also got an army-wide expel Gnaw ability where your whole army just ignores the effects of spells and endless spells that they want to ignore on a 5+. And with one of the spells in the lore, it's impossible to increase that to a 4+. Now, all your wizards in this automatically get an extra spell to cast. This is really cool. It means all your wizards are doing so much more for their points as they all become double casters. And you've also, on top of all these wizarding bonuses, got a really, really good spell lore for Hallowheart, with access to debuffs, damage spells, area effect spells, buffs, you name it. There's healing spells, there's just so much good stuff in that spell lore. I think it's one of the best spell lores in the entire game. And so, moving on, let's look at how we actually build that Path to Glory force. So, first one is step 1. You choose your faction and your realm to begin with. Now, your faction, obviously with this, will be Cities of Sigmar, but when you choose that faction as well, you must pick your sub-faction then and there as well. And this cannot change throughout the course of your Path to Glory campaign with this particular force that you're doing. And so, obviously, our sub-faction will be Hallowheart, and realm-wise, normally you would get to pick a realm to sort of choose what realm your army's from, to maybe give you some ideas for some basing, some narrative, and all that sort of stuff. But with the Cities of Sigmar, they do have set realms for the different cities, so Hallowheart is from actually the Realm of Fire. Step 2, you choose your starting size and your starting territories. For the purpose of this video, we're looking at a Vanguard size starting force. This is 600 points. It's a really, really easy way to get in. You need very few models and units. Now, besides being at 600 points, you have a maximum amount of units limited at 6, and you get 1 starting territory and 5 starting glory points. That will make sense as you start reading through the rules and using them more. Your starting territory, you get to pick through a bunch of different ones. I recommend picking Arcane Waypoint for Hallowheart. This gives you access to an additional wizard in your order of battle, as there are certain restrictions on that sort of stuff. Now, step 3 is picking that order of battle. This is effectively your roster of units that you can pick from throughout the course of the campaign to use in your battles. So you don't always have to play at 600 points. You could play a 250 point game, and then you would pick models from your 250 points worth of stuff from that order of battle you have to create an army there. Now, first of all, you have a maximum number of units you can add into your order of battle. This will be based upon your starting size, so Vanguard 6, as we've already explained. You can have a maximum of 3 heroes in a Vanguard force as well, and then you can have 1 of each monster, war machine, wizard, priest, reinforced unit, and allied unit in your force as well. Now, obviously, we've chosen an Arcane Waypoint as a territory, and this means we can have 2 wizards instead of 1. This is really cool. So there's a bunch of different territories that allow you to sort of mix around and get extra of all the other things in here as well. Step 4 is picking your core enhancements. Core enhancements are those enhancements you would normally pick for your army. So that first command trait, that first artifact, that first spell or prayer for your wizards or priests, first mount trait, all that sort of stuff. That's what you pick here as your core enhancements. If you happen to have a faction that allows you to take multiple of these things, then of course they count as core enhancements. So say heaps of factions have a certain sub-faction that gives all the monsters in that sub-faction a mount trait, they would all count as core enhancements. Lastly, you want to pick your first quest, and I really do like Defend Your Realm for Hallowheart. Hallowheart generally likes playing a little bit more defensive, especially at lower points where they can't include some of the things that allow them to move a little bit better. So this one is, at the end of each Path to Glory battle, you add a quest point to the progress section of your quest log for each friendly unit holder in your territory, which is probably going to be a few of them. In addition, at the end of each Path to Glory battle, you may spend 1 glory point to gain 1 additional quest point. Once you've gained 3 or more quest points, you complete this quest, and when you complete this quest, you gain 10 glory points. A pretty sort of simple one here for a starter quest. There's definitely some other ones you can really go to in Hallowheart. There's one that you'll actually get extra spells and all that, which is really useful later. But as you'll see with our little sample army list at the end of the video, we sort of don't need that one in the list we've built, though that can be an option if you don't go with the build we've used at the end of the video. But where do we go to first for units? Well, I think the first place to look is a Celestial Hurricane with Celestial Battle Mage. This is a really strong hero. Hallowheart's command ability needs you to be able to take mortal wounds in order to get bonuses to cast. So it's really important to have a higher wound wizard in your force to be able to use that command ability well. And I think a Celestial Hurricane with the Celestial Battle Mage is a really great choice. First of all, he's going to give +1 to cast all friendly Collegiate Arcane wizards around him, and that includes himself, so he's a +1 to cast wizard. He's got some really cool War Scroll spells. On top of that, it does some mortal wound shooting with 3 shots at full strength, just doing D3 mortal wounds if they hit on 2+. Really solid stuff all round. Free Good Guard are a really solid troop choice for the army, as they're nice and cheap, and especially in your early parts, they're just going to really be able to do a lot. You've got some really good buffs inside the army with a bunch of different things. I think there's really some option for some of the different weapon options with Free Good Guard and Hallowheart. When you start putting buffs like Ignite weapons for +1 a wound on them, they can be really cool in a bunch of different variations. And alongside them, we have Free Guild Handgunners. They're a really good shooting unit. Hallowheart makes great use of shooting units. Being a more defensive style force, especially in those lower point values, having some shooting units that you can buff up with your spells and have some cool effects with is a really strong sort of way to go. So definitely looking at taking some shooting units back. Now, lastly, the Battle Mage is, of course, the other wizard to really have a look at. If you haven't gone for like the big wizard, then maybe take some small wizards in its place. Celestial Battle Mages are just really useful. They've got access to a wide variety of different spells depending on which sort of realm you want your wizard to be from. You can get all sorts from offensive damage spells to buffs and debuffs to other utility spells that play around with other things in the game. Really just solid War Scroll and so many options within what they can do. Looking at other units we can bring in later, a Sorceress is a great place to start. She has the ability to just get +2 to cast innately by sacrificing a model of Darkened Coven's type. Now, she's also got a really good War Scroll spell. Word of Pain is -1 to hit and D3 mortal wounds to a target unit. It's just a solid spell. Now, the fact she can get +2 to cast is just really good as well. This enables her just to get so much magic through. She can potentially, get a whole host of bonuses inside Hallowheart, which just make her really powerful. Speaking of that sacrificial unit, you want something nice and cheap. I think Dread Spears for me are the option to go with. They're just cheap. You don't want to be sacrificing things like Dark Shards or Executioners or Blackguard that are much more expensive. I think just give her a cheap little unit of Dread Spears to ensure she can get that +2 to cast and really get off those important spells for the army. Looking into our Stormcaster Turtles Coalition allies, I really do like the Knight Incantor. His ability to once per game automatically dispel a spell is really useful. On top of that, he's a well-armoured wizard, which isn't something a lot of the Hallowheart cities and Sigmar wizards are. So this means he's a little bit more survivable, he can do a little bit more, he can go in and do a bit of fighting even, he's not too bad in combat. For a hero of his ilk, people go, it's a wizard, and then he'll hit him and probably kill a couple of models out of that little chaff unit, which is nice. So definitely a cool model. It is currently hard to try and get Knight Incantors. I recommend maybe picking up Stormsire's Curse Breakers, and you can find one inside there. But other than that, the Luminarch of Haish with White Battle Mage is another cool model. This puts out an aura effect of a 6-up ward, really giving you some defensive abilities. So this means not only are you going to get to ignore spells on a 5+, you maybe got a ward save against mortal wounds coming in against them as well. And it also has a really cool long-range mortal wound ability as well, on top of having some really cool spells on the model itself. Speaking of armies though, let's look at a little sample army list, and we put together a 600 point army list for you to sort of use as a basis of maybe generating some ideas of your own. So we're playing Hallowheart, Cities of Sigmar, Mortal Realm, actually all that stuff sort of pre-picked based on what we're doing in the video. Grand Strategy, Prize Sorcery, this will generally go pretty well for your Hallowheart army, as you generally got a lot of wizards and they will do a lot of the work for your army. We've gone with a Triumph, +1 a wound. This is pretty cool. None of the others really matter all that much to us. Now, with this, we've got our leader. We're going to pick the Celestial Hurricane with Celestial Battle Mage. It's going to be our general. It's going to have a command trait, Veteran of the Blazing Crusade, which is an 18-inch aura of Ignore Battle Shock. Hence why we don't need our Triumph to be Ignore Battle Shock. Now we've got the artifact of Whitefire Tome, which allows us to know all the spells from the lore. This is pretty cool. We've got a +1 cast wizard, good solid wizard, and he's going to know all the spells. Now we do have to pick 2 spells though. This is really important because if something like maybe Scraggrot comes along with Nick It, or we ever lose our artifact for some reason or whatnot, having our Hallowheart spells as Sea Wounds for a heal and Elemental Cyclone for some good damage is just a good set of options. Battle line wise, we've got 2 units of 10 Free Good Guard. I really do like set on board. I think the extra save just makes them much more survivable. And in this, we're really just trying to do some range damage with our wizard and with the handgunners. They're going to be accompanying the Free Good Guard. So that's really why we want those more survivable Free Good Guard in there. Though with some cool buffs, they can do some really nice tricks with something like a warding brand or ignite weapons on them. Everything is wrapped up in a battle regiment, just a good battalion to start with, means we're a 1-drop force. 555 points means we are below 600, meaning we've got access to maybe include an endless spell in there if you really want to, but it does mean we've got a good chance of getting the Triumph. No reinforced units and no allies, 41 wounds, 1-drop as mentioned. It's a solid little core of a starter force to get you ready to play Path to Glory with a Hallowheart army. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, let us know down in the comments below what you enjoyed about it. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little fine community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by joining our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description. And lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel financially, you can do so by joining either our Patreon or YouTube members. Our YouTube members will get access to some cool little emojis you can use during live streams and also to comment on some of our posts and on our videos with, and you'll get your name with a special little icon on it as well on YouTube. Our Patreons and YouTube members will also get a name up in a special colour in our Discord server as well. And finally, you'll get a shout out from us as well on Patreon or YouTube members at the end of every video that you have helped support. Thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Angu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, and James Cater. And a special thanks to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny, Lockloric, The Johnny 84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Shelf, Adriana Edwards, and Sean Scott. And a special thanks to, first of all, Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you can see pictured here for the channel, and to Xmorphic, who does all the amazing background work for the channel. And that's it from us today. Please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down on the video below. Stay safe, everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.